What is up, you guys? Today, I got the chance to see Lilo and Stitch. This review is a little bit late, I know. I'm a little behind because, of course, I work at the movie theater, and Lilo and Stitch has been killing us. It's been swamped, which means movies are back, and this summer's going to be a big summer, so I'm going to try to get the movie reviews as fast as I can, but I also really wanted to take my time with this review today because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie. Without further ado, I want to get into it. Before we get into the video, I want to say I'm going to keep this spoiler free, and I'm going to get into spoilers, of course. But I want to show you guys my collectibles that I got for this movie beforehand. First off, I got these ears at a local Cinemark, which is, of course, where I work. And I kind of like them. I think they're actually very nice because I am going to Disney World, and we are going to Ohana, which is one of my favorite restaurants to eat for breakfast, and you get to meet Lilo and Stitch, which are two of my favorite characters. As you can see, I am a big fan of Stitch. Got Stitch everywhere. And the other was this cup that I really like, and it's like a coconut cup that like you can drink from, and hold it like that. Very nice. Obviously, it can't go in a cup holder, but I thought this was pretty sick. So getting into this movie has a lot of drama, and going online, it's very diverse, and rightfully so, because honestly, I'm feeling the same way when it comes to its diversity. I can't tell whether I like this movie or not, and I think that's also going to play a factor into this movie as well. But straight off the bat, I gotta say, I think this movie is way worse than the original. I am a big fan of Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch was my movie growing up. I loved Princess and the Frog and Lilo and Stitch, but Lilo and Stitch specifically, I would rewatch multiple times growing up. That Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has the Glitch, Leroy and Stitch, Stitch the movie, Stitch the television series. I grew up with Lilo and Stitch. Now, Stitch isn't, of course, my favorite Disney character, but just the movie franchise alone gave me so much magic, and I thought it was so original, and it made me so happy growing up that I loved it. I would watch that movie on repeat obsessively. When I heard they were making a live-action remake, I was so excited. And I saw the Snow White movie, and also I realized, guys, that Snow White review, I apologize. It was extremely too high of a score. This is my new score for the movie. Kind of reflecting on it as time went on, I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't that great. The acting's pretty bad in that movie, but if you replace Gal Gadot in that movie and maybe Rachel Zegler's haircut and outfit sometimes throughout the movie, it's not too shabby. Now, I want to talk about my positives first within this movie. I think this movie has the potential to be a good Disney remake. By that, I mean this movie has a lot of background drama, of course, when it was supposed to be a live-action original Disney Plus remake. They have, like, Disney Plus remakes on there, like Mulan, I believe, was the Disney Plus original remake. They got Pinocchio, Peter Pan and Wendy, and Lady and Tramp. All of these movies are collectively bad. There's really nothing higher than a 5 out of 10 on here for me. And Lilo and Stitch, I would be able to place in this category, I'm not gonna lie. That's mainly because it was supposed to go on Disney Plus originally, and then they realized, wait a minute, people love Lilo and Stitch. If we put it in theaters, it will make over $1 billion, which it's unfortunate. It's heading down that way. It's definitely going to make $1 billion without a doubt. So then they clearly made the good decision on that, which means that they almost lost $2 billion movies, this and Moana 2, because Moana 2 was supposed to be a live action, or was supposed to be a TV show, and then this was supposed to be a movie on Disney Plus. I will say the acting is very good. I think that's another positive. I think Nani and Lilo are pretty decent, pretty well done. I think they casted the perfect Lilo. I think that was the best choice within that cast. And I really like how they got Chris Sanders, who voiced Stitch in the animated movie, to voice Stitch in this movie. And then there's new characters like this neighbor character, which I like. I don't think she's bad at all. I think she's a very interesting character, and I think she's the most second most controversial character, because we're going to get into that later. Or third, depending, maybe actually fourth. She's a controversial character when it comes to this movie, because there's a few different ones. But I think Nani and Lilo are mainly the two positives of this movie that basically make the movie decent and good, is Nani and Lilo. Nani and Lilo, great. They're dynamic, great. If you have siblings, you're going to like it because of that relationship. I'm unfortunately an only child, but I saw this with my family and my girlfriend and their sisters. They all enjoyed it, and they didn't love it, but they enjoyed it. But that's unfortunately where I think my positives kind of end for this movie. Like, I'm really trying to think. I saw this movie like 3 days ago. I can't really think of any more positives except that there's some fun moments with Stitch, but not a ton. And unfortunately, when it comes to Lilo and Stitch, I have a lot more negatives than I do positives. Getting into my negatives here, there are quite a few negatives, and one of them being, of course, the live action remakes in general. They changed the story. If you're gonna make it a remake beat for beat. Maybe add some tweaks in there. Like, I will tell you what, Jungle Book, without a doubt, best live action remake, because I think Jungle Book is better than the original Jungle Book animated movie, because it actually adds things that are different from the movie, but make sense and are well throughout the movie, that like add depth into the characters. But I think they try to do this, but in this movie, but it really didn't make a ton of sense. Also, not just one specific character, all the characters within the movie of Jungle Book, every character has depth. This movie, it's mainly focused, I feel like, on Nani. Nani's pretty much the main character. I feel like this movie should be Nani and Lilo, or Lilo and Nani, because Stitch is kind of a side character with them when it comes to this movie. Stitch isn't the main character. A lot of people are going to be like, well, that's not true, yada, yada, yada. If you haven't heard by now, slight spoilers, I'm going to say it right now. The Ugly Duckling sequence is not in this film. That is a major, major plot point within the original animated movie for Stitch, so he can become like this normal citizen that they say in the original movie, because like he needs to be, instead of like this crazy animal, more tame. And he reads the Ugly Duckling story and he becomes, oh my god, okay, I have this family now, stuff like that. I'm lost. Oh my gosh, like this is my family, this is my Ohana. He kind of just is this crazy animal, and then all of a sudden at the end he says like the Ohana thing. It's like that's really, you took his whole character development away. He's not the main character. He's more of just like a figure saying like, hey, this is our logo, but these are the two main characters, is Lilo and Nani. Now Lilo and Nani are very two big important characters within the original movie, but it's Lilo and Stitch. Stitch needs some screen time, and he does have plenty of screen time, but he has screen time of chaotic scenes that he does, chaotic messes that really give no purpose to the plot. Like, there was chaotic messes when it came to the animated movie, where like he would ruin the sand beach and stuff, but like David would be like, hey, I thought they were gonna get a chance this time. Yes, that's partially in this movie, but they don't really explore it as much that it's like Stitch's fault and Stitch feels guilty from it. Maybe that's just me though, I don't know. Like, just watching it, I just kept thinking like, this doesn't really feel like Stitch. Like, it feels like it does feel like a dog, which, I mean, maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe they were like, hey, we are gonna like have like this dog aspect. But a few other characters I feel like weren't really done that well. We'll talk about the obvious one, but I gotta say, I didn't really care for Cobra Bubbles in this movie, because Cobra Bubbles isn't really a character that we see a ton of. They change a lot when it comes to the whole foster system type of area, when it comes to like child services and stuff like that. I like the concept that maybe there's a theory that like Lilo and Stitch's parents were in the CIA, and Cobra Bubbles went to just go check on them and stuff, because he's a part of now the government. I just thought that would have been way cooler if Cobra Bubbles was the actual child services like person, instead of like this, I don't know. I just didn't really care for that whole aspect, but I can brush aside. That's really no big deal. The main problem when it comes to the characters, it's clear as day. It's Jumbo. Jumbo was just, he's awful, man. Like, this is honestly just heartbreaking, because even when I said it in my trailer breakdown, I was like, we got our first looks at Jumbo and Peakley. It's just weird that we don't get to see them fully looked. We don't get to see Jumbo fully characterized, like what he looks like. It makes sense now. It makes sense now, because we see what they look like. They look okay. I think they look pretty well. I think the visuals for this movie are actually done very well. But it's clear why they weren't marketed, because unfortunately, for their disguises, it must be a budgetary thing. Their disguises, they don't dress up in like a wig and stuff, which the director said he wanted Peakley to dress up as a woman and stuff. Didn't get to do that. They don't do that. Instead, they dress up as they're dressed up as like fully skinned men. Like, they just look like humans. Which the voice actors or the voice actors of the characters, the CGI characters. So it's just Zach Galifianakis and the guy who plays Peakley, walking around as Jumba and Peakley. So for most of the movie, and that really just irked me. I was like, this is kind of, I don't know. And Zach Galifianakis, love him, great as the Joker in Lego Batman, great as the guy from The Hangover, but he was terrible in this. Terrible. I would say even as terrible as the Evil Queen, Gal Gadot. I think it's that bad of a performance. There's no accent, which he came out in interviews, and you know that it's bad when he comes out in interviews and says, oh, the accent, I let them tell me what they wanted me to do, yada, yada, yada. Clearly, he's like, don't blame me, blame Disney. He basically said that in interviews, multiple interviews. That's how you know it's bad. People were complaining about it. They got rid of the accent, and it bothers me. It very much bothers me. You can clearly see the two differences. So that was a big red flag for me, and the fact that they made Jumba, they make Jumba the villain, because there is no villain, because Gantu isn't in this movie. There wasn't I think there wasn't a budget for Gantu. I think that's why they got rid of him. That's my guess. I don't know why he's not in the movie, but Gantu's the main villain, that captures Lilo and Stitch, and that's why Jumba helps Stitch at the end. Jumba and Peakley stay on Earth because they're a part of the Ohana. It's not in it. He's the villain. Mind you, in the original movie, Gantu dresses up as an uncle to save Lilo and stuff. He dresses up as Santa to make Lilo and Stitch feel happy around Christmas. This is not Jumba. This is not Jumba, man. Like, I was very heartbroken when I saw that. I was in that theater going, this ain't it. Now, a few minor things here and there when it comes to my negatives. I didn't really care for some of the visuals within this movie, such as the beginning opening sequence. I think the opening sequence in the trailer made it look awesome. But the opening sequence, if you watch the original movie, I remember seeing the original movie. Now, I don't know if I said this, but whenever I try to watch the live action remake, I try hard not to compare it to the original. But it's impossible not to, especially since it's sometimes beat for beat, but then they change things. I try hard to go okay, this is what I'm looking at as just an opening movie. And I will say it works because my girlfriend's sister really liked this movie. They said that they found it really enjoyable, but they never saw the original movie. Now me, I saw the original movie. I grew up on that. Watching this, I'm just like, it's just rough because that original sequence, I loved it. That's one of my favorite openings for any Disney movie. We see Jumba going, what miserable planet did my creature unleash? And then it says Lilo and Stitch, and it's Hawaii. That whole opening sequence where it's Stitch is stealing the airplane and stuff is 5 minutes. It's condensed. And it's I think maybe it's probably 5 minutes in the original movie, maybe 2 minutes in this movie. Whatever it is, it's it feels like it's half the runtime. And there's just something off about the way that the creatures come off. Maybe I mean they do look ugly in the animated movie, but it works because it's animated, so I understand that. Same thing for the Seven Dwarfs, but again, when I watched Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs, I actually like them. I actually like the way that the Seven Dwarfs worked and stuff. I thought the visuals for that movie were very great. This, I didn't really care, and I think what also irked me is the fact that they didn't keep Jumba and Peakley. They became these humans. Stitch, all around great. Whenever Stitch was on camera, you would tell the budget went to them mainly. But then there was also these long sequences where it would just be Lilo and Nani talking, or Lilo and or Nani and someone else. Never really Lilo and Stitch, or it would be Lilo, Stitch, and Nani, but it would mainly focus on Lilo and Nani, not really Stitch. So that's where it's I don't know. It just felt like a Disney Plus original movie. Now, there's a lot of people that love this movie. There's a lot of people that hate this movie. I don't know. And I don't want to sound like a Disney adult that's oh, I hate the movie. They ruined Stitch for me. Because that's not the case. I actually think it's a very decent movie. But for me personally, I don't care. But I can understand why people would like it. But I'm going to throw a wild thing that I'm going to say here that I know everyone's going to disagree with me. And I know. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay. You can say it in the comments. I'm okay with whatever you're going to say. Because I told my girlfriend this. I told all my friends this. I think Snow White was better. Come at me. Come at me. Yep. You can say what you want. I know. Old Disney nerd for life here. My previous days of Disney nerd for life. Coming back. Disney nerd sides with Snow White over this. Now, I'm not gonna I'm gonna make a whole video on ranking my Disney live action remakes. I just think Snow White's just a tad bit better. I think the soundtrack was really good in that, except Gal Gadot. I know, I think Gal Gadot and, again, some of Rachel Zegler's scenes are the only problems. I know they changed the whole plot. I know they have like those 7 helpers. If you get rid of those 7 like helper things, just have that one guy that's like maybe going against the queen and has like a team, but like they don't really show a team ever. They just have that one guy. And then you have the dwarfs. You got Rachel Zegler and like her whole thing. And you got a new actress to play the queen. That would have been peak. That would have been peak. And I had a great time with it. I think it was decent. I enjoyed my time watching that movie. My experience for watching Lilo and Stitch was pretty much everyone's experience for watching Snow White, seeing Gal Gadot whenever Jumbo was on screen. That's just me. Getting into my spoiler thoughts here, we gotta talk about the ending. I mean, the ending is a clear, that's the most diverse thing ever. I think the ending sequence is very... I'm not going to go as crazy as hating it as much as other people are. There's a lot of people saying, oh my god, Nani gave up Lilo. She's going to the foster system. Yada, yada, yada. That's not Ohana. Blah, blah, blah. The whole point of the neighbor's character was to introduce a friend into the family who lives in her neighborhood right across the street from Lilo and goes, Nani, you're a child yourself. You want to do this whole marine biology thing and go surfing and stuff like that. I'll raise Lilo. I'll watch over her. Not really raise her, but I'll watch her. And you go to college. She'll live right across the street from you. Stuff like that. And then Nani, at the end of the day, has the portal gun, can see her whenever she wants. I think this is an ending that, yes, is it a little out there? It's a little weird. Yes, I agree with this statement that this gives off the lesson of a weird ending to Ohana, where she basically raises her and goes like, all right, well, I'm going to put those struggles away. But in the original movie also, Nani never wanted to really go to college. Her passion was always surfing. She loved to go surfing and stuff, surfing competitions. She had so many trophies of surfing. In this, she does surfing as like a hobby. She teaches surfing, but she wants to do marine biology. That's really cool. I guess that's a more realistic approach. And I do like how it's like this neighboring character, opposed to her just giving up Lilo. Because she didn't give up Lilo. She was very fighting hard. She was like, no. She only gave Lilo to the neighbor because the neighbor is a friend of the family. So I disagree with the people that are saying that Nani gave up Lilo. She didn't. She is being raised by a family friend. And I can understand it because Nani is just a child. She's roughly my age. If I was to have a younger sibling, I wouldn't really know what to do either. I would be struggling to pay the bills like Nani. And if I had like a neighboring friend who's been around since I was a child, I would probably be like, okay, sure, yeah, I'm your neighbor. I'll always come to visit and stuff. I think that it's a realistic approach to the movie. But again, I can't really talk on this. I don't have siblings. I'm an only child. But I wasn't really too hard on it. I was more angry with the fact that Stitch never really learned to become a better person or whatever. And he says that whole monologue like, oh, this is my family. It's a little broken, yada, yada, yada. Boy, you didn't even read the Ugly Duckling book. Get out of here. And I'm very mad with Jumba because then he goes up and we just see Peakley staying on the island. Jumba doesn't go on the island, doesn't stay on Hawaii. Makes me mad. That's really all I got for spoilers. I can't really think of anything too much, but Jumba was really making me mad. Him being the whole villain, capturing pretty much Lilo and Stitch. I don't like that in the slightest. I think that's really stupid. So, here are my overall thoughts on the movie, and with all of these added up, I'm giving the movie an overall score of 56 out of 100. I think this movie is very enjoyable for the family. I think you can have fun with it if you are new to Lilo and Stitch or something, or maybe don't really care that too much. Just go into it with low expectations, maybe. I think I just had to do that. I think I went into it with way too high expectations. But Disney definitely disappointed me severely. And I'm hoping with the next live action remake, they can do something better. But I'm actually very excited for what DreamWorks is going to offer, because DreamWorks is going to now do this live action remake with How to Train Your Dragon. And if they do that well, we can clearly see it's Disney's problem and not this whole problem with making animated movies live action. But what do you guys think? Am I crazy for giving Lilo and Stitch 56 out of 100 and I'm giving Snow White a 58? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I think I gotta watch both of them back to back when they come out on Disney Plus. I probably will. But clearly Lilo and Stitch beat it by a way bigger shot with overall scores and fan base and money compared to Snow White. I just personally enjoyed Snow White a little bit more. And that really hurts me, as Lilo and Stitch is my second favorite Disney movie and in my top 30 movies of all time. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I know this review is a little negative, but it is a decent time. Whatever you guys thought of the movie, I respect your opinion completely. I posted a YouTube short of my review on from my TikTok account, and someone said, "You're trash. I love this movie," and I just wrote, "I respect your opinion, because everyone's opinion matters." And I think mine does too. I think I think I have a valid argument with this movie. But again, I don't want to sound like a raging Disney adult, so I'm just going to end it here. If you like this video, make sure you like it. If you really liked it, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see future reviews like this, make sure you ring that bell in the description down below. With all that being said, aloha.